They're counting on you. We've faced and overcome so much. Sometimes I wonder how we made it through. We both know that the old ways aren't going to work this time. This journey has changed us, changed you. But it's not over yet. You need the right tools for the job.
Okay. I'm still looking at land prices.
Are we on the internet?
Should I say it? Yeah, that's our slogan. Are we on the internet?
Are we on the internet? I think that's a fun way to open every stream. Agil Monk, thanks for tuning in via YouTube. We are going to be running a giveaway here on Twitch if you want to migrate over. If not, you do you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What was that?
That's me. I'm trying to get on to the, like, I don't know. Every time I touch something.
That's what I heard.
So I've got a window unit air conditioner. Is that disruptive? Can you hear that?
That's fine. It's all good.
Perfect.
We're on the troll net. The troll lords have indeed invaded the internet. We're here. Now we can't be driven out.
That's right.
We have arrived like Unklar, ready to enact our 1,000-year reign of terror.
I think we should develop our own blockchain where we can communicate via blockchain.
What is a blockchain?
I don't know.
Then let's go. Let's do it.
It's just this crypto stuff.
A blockchain is like.
It was really cool. I went to Davis's house about 3 years ago, and he had three full-size monitors up, and it was covered in graphs. Shit was moving. It looked like some kind of a movie because he was following all this crypto and all this crap. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I made a little bit of money trading, but Henry wants me to do it again, but I'm not sure that I have the patience to do it again.
You got more patience than I do. I got no patience for any of that.
Did you guys get into NFTs?
I did not get into NFTs. Okay. And there's, it was really popular there for a bit, and but I couldn't see. No. Can't remember what's his name wanted to do NFTs. And I had suggested that we do an NFT.
We did 6. I remember specifically. I didn't know what it was, and
we could be rich.
Well. So I said, okay, fine, we'll do it. I don't know what this is, but because Davis is always coming up with ideas. Some of them work, some of them don't. The print shot was Davis's ideas, turned out fantastic. I said, what? I don't know what he's talking about. Let's give it a shot. And so I got Zoe, and she drew 6 or 8. I think it's 6 crazy cool pictures of magic items, because that's what we were going to do, is make unique magic items NFTs. She got them done. She sent them to me, and I think we got distracted and moved on. And then like 6 months later, we needed some art. I'm like, wait a minute, we did a bunch of art for these NFTs. So I yanked it, and now it's in the books all over the place.
Curses. Foiled again.
Yeah.
My old firm is now big into blockchain, NASDAQ. Varsuk, and actually all of chat, could you do me a favor? Explain to me, like I'm a very small child, or maybe a golden retriever, why people want NFTs.
Oh, yeah. If anyone can explain why, I think. Okay,
Ben's right, because you can just screenshot it and then you have the image, and also like if the image is on the internet, you can go look at it at any time.
Yeah, the idea was that you own the original, though, right? Like it's a piece of artwork. Okay.
So it's like going to a digital gallery.
Going to a digital gallery, and you could resell the NFT later for.
And the NFT was protected by a blockchain, right? So you could see it on net, but the original, I can see a Van Gogh on the internet. I can go and see it, you can make a print of it. But I think the original was you protect it with the blockchain. Mm-hmm. So if you want the original, which is just a fascinating way of looking at digital art. I don't know. It's
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's the word for it.
Okay. It's just gambling and feelings.
Yeah, right. And there's another, if you look up like the tulip, Ben Adams mentioned the tulip thing. If you look up the tulip crash, like the whole tulip market, you should remember the tulip market, reading about it.
I do, yeah.
Not that we were there, like
close to it.
No, I invested all my money in tulips. Damn it, I remember those days.
16th century.
Actually, speaking of the tulip thing, though, I did invest a whole lot of money into, it wasn't tulips. It was something that I was going to grow up here at the farm, right? I can't remember which one.
It was tulips. It was tulips.
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly which one I was working with. It was a South African type thing that I figured could grow because it grows in South Africa naturally. it could grow in the harsh environment up here. What I did not calculate into that harsh environment was exactly how freaking harsh this environment could be. From arid, dry desert Arizona for 5 months to drenching torrential downpour Amazonian wet for like another 4 months.
Can I cut
It's-
in?
Yeah.
Ben
Yes.
said I invested in roses, still got divorced. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Dang. Dude, that's a t-shirt. Ben, get on freaking
Yeah, there you
Redbubble.
go.
Make a t-shirt and sell it.
Now we're
Hey,
cooking with
Barsuk.
gas.
Barsuk says, and the damn deer ate your tulips again. I will say
Oh.
this. I
Yes.
bought a hibiscus tree about 6 weeks ago. I think I've sent everyone in the troll chat a picture of it because it had these beautiful orange flowers, just absolutely beautiful flowers. And Kathy planted morning glories all around it. I looked out the window the other day and there was a young doe eating all of those hibiscus flowers. They're all gone.
She needs them to stay pretty.
I guess. I don't know.
It's just like my mimosas that I keep trying to grow.
I
And
love mimosa trees.
I love mimosa trees, and if I could, I would have them covering this entire farm, right?
I
love
have
them.
a wand made from the branch of a mimosa tree.
Oh, really?
It's one of my
Cool.
favorite things that I own. Apparently, you can use it for stuff. If you're into like the witchy side of stuff. I
Mhm.
don't know anything about it, but I've got a mimosa wand and it's cool.
Hey, but if it comes to it, Grace, you've got your mimosa wand.
Armed. I'm armed
You're
and
ready.
dangerous.
Right.
You don't need
Yeah,
a license for
the
that in the
leaves-
States.
The deer like the leaves of the mimosa because it's like a little high for them. They get some kind of like thing off of it, so they constantly come up and eat on the mimosas. So now I've decided to build, because I've been growing that one for 7 years and it's only 3 feet tall still. And so I'm going to go and build a fence around it, 10 feet to either side, and then just cover it like 10 feet tall, I think.
put
And
a
then
brick
put barbed
house
wire
over
on
it.
it, and then electrical charges and a landmine. And
They're
then-
still going to get in there. They're still going to get in there. They're unstoppable.
Ooh, we're gonna get
Such
to
a
other
beautiful-
legitimate. Not to say this question isn't legitimate. We're gonna get to other questions shortly. But Harlgarth is asking if we're adding a wand of mimosa to the M&T. Please say yes.
Do it.
Yeah, we need to let Jeremy know he's in there right now.
Jeremy's on for it. Create the wand. Hey, that's a good idea. 2 fences 3 feet apart. That's a really good idea.
There you go.
You're just going to go out there and there's going to be a deer hung up in one of them.
Oh
They're
man.
very ingenious.
Yeah. Yeah, very ingenious. That's a word I'd use on.
Speaking of
Finally proved
ingenious,
you were present at the Grand Tulip crash. Yes, indeed.
well, speaking of things that are genius, do we want to talk about what the subject is for today's stream?
Yes, castles and crusades and the subtlety of design. Isn't that what we call the thing?
I think so. I called it the art of subtle design because I
Art
couldn't
of-
remember the exact verbiage.
That's yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. That's when we wanted to hop on. This has been a conversation that I think has gotten lost inside the troll dens as we're just trying to fix this and fix, manuscript wise. A whole lot of work. Davis and Mac. For those of you who don't know, Castles and Crusades is a role playing game. Very very easy to play, easy to learn. Immersive role playing game. And Davis and Mac developed this game back in 2003, 2004, with an attribute check system powering it, and it's the Siege engine. But when they designed it, there were some subtle things that went into the design and the writing of CNC and the way it's presented that we hoped, would encourage a more immersive role-playing style as opposed to a more mechanical or a more reliance on rules style. And that lent heavily into the way that Davis and myself and Mac had been running games for years because we did AD&D, and we did some of AD&D. The rest of us, whatever we were doing at the time with the house rules, as many and probably most people do. I mean, Grace, you've been playing 5th edition for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So, and I know you've just started. No, you've been running games for over a year now. Easy.
Yeah, I ran 5e for about 2 years.
Yeah, there you go. So when you were playing 5e, did you begin to change some of it?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
Yeah. Most of it like designing new stuff and homebrewing rules and like all this
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
And that I think that's the heart of what almost every role play. It's what draws people to role playing games. I think.
Yeah.
It's not the mechanics of it. It's I was talking to my boys the other day. If you take a video game, one of the reasons video games are popular is because it supplies you that imaginative look. You can see yourself, see the monster. Now imagine if that video game, every time you swang your weapon at the demon, it paused and it showed a chart of mechanics and it showed some algebraic equations and some coding as to what your damage was, and then proceeded, and then when the demon hit you, it did the same thing. That wouldn't be very fun. That wouldn't. No one would play video games and had to put up with it. Well, there'd be a few people out there that would love that stuff. There would be some. There would definitely be some. I could name a couple, but and I think that's what draws people to role playing games is the role playing aspect. And with Davis, I'll let you dive in. I know we're going to be tapping your memory that doesn't work very well, but, it does not linger on things that happened before this morning. It really does not.
No, I can't. I'm gonna have to go look in Skype real quick. Anyway, go ahead.
What were we doing in those days? But that was one of the things that lent itself into the design philosophy of CNC was to make it where role playing and role playing meet. That was our original tagline, I think, and the role being ROLL and ROLE, to kind of shift away from this mechanic driven.
Yeah.
Oh, a player-facing game versus a character-facing game.
That was it.
Which is a super important distinction, and I think that a lot of people, I hadn't heard it put that way, and it totally clicked for me as soon as I heard that.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's just sort of either it's accreted in my mind from some commentary from somewhere. I don't know where it came from, but so the idea behind Castles and Crusades was to create a player-facing game, right? So in my mind, I'm just going to make a demarcation between character-facing games and player-facing games. And here's a perfect character-facing game, a game of chess, okay? Or better yet, a game of Go as a character-facing game, right? So your character is just one piece, and everyone, when you're playing Go, it's basically one piece. Everyone gets the same piece. One player gets black, one player gets white, and they can only do one thing, right? And everything in the game is based on the mechanic of what that one thing can do. Chess is the same way. The entire game is run on the mechanics behind each of the pieces, however many pieces you get.
Because you're really just a player moving these pieces.
Yeah. Your strategy is the only thing that works, but everything that this thing does is defined by its one mechanic. It only has one rule or one move it can make or whatever. Other than anyway, there's some details. You get it. I don't want to get too lost. There's details. Yeah. I get it. But the whole idea is that you're limited, and like in war games. So you take like a chit from those old war games, and they have limited abilities. Like say, what's the classic one would be a 3-3-4 infantry. You get 3 attack, 3 defense, 4 move, or whatever it was.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that.
Still had a little bit more, but
a little bit more. But then that chit is defined by those characteristics and can't do anything outside those characteristics. Now, as Dungeons and Dragons develops, it's using that basic set, except it opens it up really, 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 really broadly. And then what we've had since the 1970s through thing is just this like negotiation between how much mechanics affect a game. Go ahead.
No, yeah, but you can see the evolution in early D&D. In early D&D, it's player facing. Then AD&D it becomes character, but by third edition specifically, it's player again. Because I'm going to play this character, and these are my abilities. This is what I can do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a chit in Squad Leader. Right. It's the same thing as the chess piece. I can only do these things. I'm a player. I'm not a character.
That's a character facing game. You're defined by the characteristics that go with that piece that you're playing.
It's about what the character can do.
Exactly. It's about what the character do. Now, on the other end, you have player-facing games, and I think off the top of my head, the best player-facing game I can think of is Cops and Robbers that we used to play as kids,
Yeah.
or Cowboys and Indians, or whatever it was, right? Where there's no rules, and you
Said this is a character-based game. Yes.
No,
That's
this is
player-facing.
This is player based.
Yeah, that's player-facing. So I don't know a better way to describe that. But anyway, so player facing it all depends on the imagination of the players in the game, and you make the rules up as you go, if you even have any rules. Because I don't remember any rules in Cowboys and Indians. I said I shot you, and you said you didn't, then we'd get in a fist.
There's no fucking rule that you fell if someone, aimed their gun at you.
Well, you're limited by your own like kid physicality. You can only run so fast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you imagine everything else that you can do. I mean, you're like 7-year-old kid, and you're like, I'm riding a horse, and I pull out my 6-shooter, and I start shooting stuff and all kinds of stuff, right?
Right.
So that's entirely player facing, where there's no rules or mechanics to guide you for other than your imagination. So, and then I guess by the time Dungeons and Dragons hits 4E, it's entirely character facing again, right? That's such a mechanically driven game. It's basically straight up wargaming, I would say. Now, what we
I think I transposed those. I got them flipped in my head.
got them flipped. Yeah.
So AD&D is a player-based game. Old D&D is a character game. 4th edition is character game.
Yeah, 4th edition is character game. So it's character facing more.
Yeah.
And 5th edition is more character facing. I would say. I mean, people may disagree.
Yeah,
with me.
I mean, like having played it, to be clear, we're not bashing like character facing games. I think that you can tell some great stories with character facing games. And in 5E, at least in our campaign, a lot of our story beats were wrapped up in the character sheet. And we use the character sheet to inform the plot because that's what we have. Like we're not doing stuff outside of the character sheet. So like if a character had a certain power for something, that was narratively important because we made it that way.
Right.
But the character sheet comes first.
Yeah. Yes. So that's character facing and interesting, and which brings to a point which Kent and I both had problems with it. Not problems, but one of the things introducing players to Castles and Crusades who have come from, say, character facing games, and they look at their sheet and there's not a whole lot of list of things that they can do.
Right.
Well, I can only do X, and I'm like, sometimes it's a sit down. No, you can try to do anything that you want to do.
You can specifically do X.
You can specifically do X, but you can try. I mean, I can try to pick a lot.
An interesting way, and Mac pressed this in the early days. An interesting way to look at those character abilities, like the fighter gets the most grief because in Castles and Crusades, the fighter he gets like weapon specialization and one other thing at first level or something. So technically they can't do much, right? You look at it and this guy can't do that. Those abilities are actually the only things that they're so good in that other classes can't do them.
Right.
That's really the way to look at that. Anything else it can do. They have complete control of all the weapons, armor, shields, all that stuff. Fighter is exceedingly versatile as a player-based game in CNC because it's only got 2 things that it has to do. The rest, anything else it can't do. But you're right. That's the hardest thing in introducing. And I've introduced a lot of new people over the years to the game. Getting them to try.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, you can try that. Would it be okay if I? Yeah, absolutely. Just do it. Do it.
Yeah. That took a really, really conscious mental shift for me the first time I ever played a game that way. And then afterwards, it just felt like I was in a wide open field and free to go anywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to switch back to other types of games. I've had that trouble. Yeah. Davis is pretty good. He shifts because he loves game design.
Yeah.
I can't shift. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't, and I can't shift back very easily.
Now I have a preference, but I can shift in and out just depending on the thing. But I'll be honest,
detailed character sheets are prisons. I like that.
Yes, and they can be.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why. And so TLG, like when we designed Castles and Crusades, and Mac and I were very, very specific about this. is that the game moved to a player-facing game. So we wanted to reduce the number of skills, make the rule set malleable, just reduce everything so that the player actually was making the decisions and that character was not making the decisions.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of it depends on what the player does. Because the character itself, all the mechanical stuff, I mean, whatever it can do, isn't going to impact the game as much as the player is going to impact the game. How the player reacts to events and stuff like that. So that's how we try to shift the game. And we've done it in, like, not only have we done it inside the rule set, we've done it narratively. Which is why, well, we went over the spells. It's why we have the spells the way they're laid out now. And Kent and I discussed the monsters.
Yeah.
I even want to move the stat blocks to the bottom of the monster to put the narrative back, to keep the focus on the narrative. But
it's funny though, Davis, because I didn't understand this when you guys were doing it, and when you guys were laying out the way this book needs to be presented. And this is the subtlety of it. And I know that you and Mac talk about this ad nauseum. And I remember, I wish we could get him on one of these streams.
Yeah.
Because he's going to remember better than Davis does. And I was on the other part of town. They were on a porch together. I was in my own house. Something has sprouted from your head, Grace.
Yeah, I was going to say, Grace, what the hell's on your head?
I don't know. I just wanted a little help. I just needed a little support.
It's the frog god has arrived. Bill Webb would be very happy. But even in the layout, I remember when we switched from an attribute based presentation to alphabetizing the character sheets. Max said this is wrong for Castles and Crusades because we don't want them to think of characters this way. We want them to think of attributes first because you need to envision what type of character you want to play so you can get into that feel. And it was eye-opening to me that approach, actually, the way you guys designed it, there's some subtlety to it that is trying to help people rethink the way that they see role-playing.
Right. Yeah.
And get back to that cowboys and Native Americans, we would say now, but get back to
Cops and robbers, how about that?
Cops and robbers, there you go. And get back to that kind of, because that's really probably, I had never really thought about it till you said it, Davis. That's the ultimate example of imaginative role play, right? And I use it in when I'm talking to people all the time. We've all been role playing since we were like 3. Like younger than that, my granddaughter she was in there playing tea with her animals, and she's role playing. I mean, that's what she's doing. She's creating a world.
It's one of the first things that humans learn how to do, to explore their own minds and the world around them. It's, I think, what we were made for.
I agree. I think so. And that's what Castles and Crusades brings to the table, because it really gives you not only a rule set, but it gives you the mindset on ways to kind of do this.
Right.
Yeah. I want to, with Grace on that. Storytelling. Role-playing, storytelling, all of that is a very important human function. It's how we learn how to act in society and how to behave and what's expected of us and stuff like that. But it's also how we express certain things about either ourselves, or our culture, or our group, or whatever tribe, however you want to put it. And it shows up in TTRPGs as well. It's the same thing. So what we wanted to do was bring that back, to let you be the cops and robbers type thing, and have that freedom of input into the game, via its mechanics and its presentation. Mm-hmm. I think that's conveyed fairly well. Although now that you've got me thinking about it, I really want to push back. And I don't know where we're going to go. I want to push back. Maybe we should do the layout when the PHB do the attribute-based presentation.
Well, Mac, when I changed it, I think it was third printing. Honestly, can't remember when I changed it. He wasn't very happy. And Mac never expresses. I've got like 2 emotions. One is rage, and the other. Mac, he doesn't get angry about stuff, but he was very irritated with me when I switched it.
Yeah, and we did it basically. I think we did it for reasons of ease of consumption. I think basically because most people are going to run with the alphabetized thing rather than.
People said it was too hard to find the fighter because it was fighter rank. We did strength first.
Yeah.
So it was the fighter was in the front, and people would say it's too hard to find, whatever, because it's not in the alphabet.
But you know, when we went to alphabetizing, the assassin was first, and then you're like,
yeah, that immediately. And notice I threw that out, because the assassin's last now. Yeah, that always bugs me because we did have, and part of the idea is Castles and Crusades is a game for everyone. I don't care where you come from. I don't care any walk of life. And
my new back scratcher.
There you go. What is that? A skillet? Yeah, that's awesome. But Castles and Crusades, for that mother who comes to a game store and wants to buy a game, she has to feel just as comfortable as the 55-year-old guy who's been playing for 50 years. And when she opens up the book and says, "Wait, my 5-year-old's going to play an assassin," I'm not real comfortable with it, and I understand that. So that's why that. But interestingly, Mac's original layout design took that problem away because the assassin is then buried under, I think it's a dex class. It's buried somewhere in the text.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, so the player facing, I think, and then the rules, I saw in there too that
I'm getting a Dr. Pepper. I'll be right back.
Sure.
The feats and other add-ons, say things like that, can sort of hamper in a lot of ways as they drive the player to take certain actions over other actions. Whereas if you take those away, you actually give the player more options at the table than you think. The player just has to become aware that they have those options.
Right.
At the table, which basically is why it's an attribute-based system, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Try anything, stick it to an attribute, see what happens.
Well, now that we've been... Sorry, go first.
Yeah, we're also not there are certain things that are specifically tied to attributes, but I'm really willing to take any argument to throw it at an attribute. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can work with that. I can work with that. I'll even do an intelligence if you convince me, right? And I know how to do it. I know what words you can say to convince me. I'm going to use my intelligence to get a bonus to hit. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how that works out. And then
I
I'm
love
like,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You're awesome. Hey, I got to answer this question real quick.
Yeah.
Dardrian, yes, the T-shirt arrived, and yes, it did fit. I will get a picture of it. Thank you very much. That is that is very cool. My blood probably is Dr. Pepper. So.
And now that we're all Dr. Peppered up and stuff, whenever you guys are ready, we do have some questions, but I want to make sure we finish our thoughts.
Dude, I even have Dr. Pepper 0.
Ooh.
There you go.
Is there a difference in taste?
I actually like Dr. Pepper 0 better than I like Dr. Pepper, like the normal Dr. Pepper. But it's not a significant difference.
So Grace, I'll tell you this: if I will drive down a road if I haven't opened Dr. Pepper, and by a dirt road, and by the time I get to the end of it, I'll complain to Kathy, it doesn't taste right, and throw it away if I just open it. So she forbid me to try Dr. Pepper 0. She said, "I do not want to hear you complain."
Yeah.
I'm with you though. I'm very particular about my drinks. If it's not the right temperature, if the temperature has lapsed, the drink goes in the trash. Unfortunately,
mine could be boiling over or frozen solid, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Well, then that's when we give you those drinks.
Yeah, right.
That's why Davis and I have a great symbiotic relationship. If it gets slightly warm, I stop drinking it, and he doesn't give a crap.
I know, yeah. I'll wander around the house and pick up other people's sodas when they're done. I'm like, I'll finish this show.
Standing at the gate, there are two brothers. One only drinks a particular liquid. The other drinks all of them.
Yeah.
Which door do you choose?
Right.
Will Martinez on YouTube was asking, is there any chance for a new updated Castle Keeper screen, and will you guys make spell cards this time around?
Oh, look at that!
We had a conversation about that this morning. Oh no, my frog.
We did have a conversation. I'm having Chuck probably early next week investigate the spell cards. The spell card side of things, I don't use them myself, but I completely understand people's desire to have them. The issue that we have is a manpower issue, so it's like laying another book out because you can't just take the spell from the player's handbook and drop it in there and go. But I would love to do it. We're gonna experiment. Jeremy is making us a master list right now of spells. So I'm going to Wilson, who does our shipping and receiving. He also does all of our sales reports, and he keeps delivering me these beautiful pie charts, and he does some crazy shit with Excel. So I'm going to ask him if he can't extract a row and see to speed the layout process up. So we'll see.
Yeah. And what about the CK screen? Is it going to be the same print that we currently have, or are we doing a new one?
Currently, it's the same. There's nothing on the screen that changes from the changes in the book. So there's nothing there that changes. So there's no reason to do a new one. However, if something should come across our desk that says, hey, we need more of this on the screen, more of that, we can certainly look at doing another one. And this would be the time to add a new screen to a stretch goal that says, we want to see this, this, and this.
That was going to be my point, because I've been getting a lot of people asking if there's like new art for the CK screen in particular too.
Oh, we got some new art.
Yeah.
Is that a yes then? For art?
Well, we could definitely do it. We could put those dragons on the art. We just got the copper dragon today. It looks fantastic.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I've been sort of I like the screen. This was my idea for the screen. Of course, can't kibosh it in the right way because, of course, all my ideas are like this.
As Davis is looking that up, Manfred, you are 100% right. Chuck's combat reference chart is fantastic.
Yes.
And that, I've seen it, it's beautiful. And that is what is going to be, the cheat sheets are going to be Chuck's. He's got 4 of them. He listed them this morning. He's working on them literally right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope to have something to present Monday or Tuesday.
Yes.
We're going to call them Chuck's cheat sheets. I mean, they're freaking awesome.
And if y'all do have questions, send them in. I'm currently just compiling them, so we'll get to you. But, yeah.
Okay, so so the current screens, you're thinking about keeping the cover to the current screens.
Well, we could swap them out with these cool dragons. We got really cool dragons.
Yeah, I like the idea. So my idea was to have sets of screens, for each module, each adventure, each.
Yeah.
I mean, I think new art is great if we have new art to use.
Yeah, I think
That'd
new
be
art.
exciting.
Really
So what Davis pitched, and I think this might be part of the Hermit. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Was that so? Let's say we do what is one of Davis's adventures, Dens of Inequity. We do Dens of Inequity, and we sell Dens of Inequity with a set of screens that has for the CK all of the material they need on the screen. Set your screens up, you go, and we just build that into the price of the product. And that kind of circumvents all of the concepts behind. I think some of the other games have done. They devote 4 or 5 pages at the front of each adventure to kind of recap everything that's going to happen in the adventure, which is an interesting approach. Yeah. But if we put that on screens, we wouldn't have to waste the page count for that. Better bang for your buck. I don't know. That's an interesting concept.
That might be interesting to play test and see if it's more useful for CKs.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another question. MSN 2012 Gaming. Any thought of renaming the armors that reference the real world, Greek, Roman, Polish armors, etc.?
No, but one of the reasons that we're not going to rename those, that actually allows those players like Eric Piper's probably not with us today, who absolutely loves Spartan and ancient Greek stuff. That allows him to immediately say, I've got Greek armor. This is the type of player this is what my character looks like.
Easy to find.
Yeah.
And then you, as the castle keeper or world builder of whatever setting, can then rename it yourself to whatever culture you want to put it in.
And we could certainly, I'm sure the Greeks called it something, we could use all of their terminology, but it would mean nothing to anyone except who really likes armor.
Yeah, I do not have, my file is on my external, and my external is somewhere else right now. I don't have the arms book, armor thing handy. But I listed a lot of types of, different types of armor in the arms book, arms and armor book, that might address that to some extent. I guess. So.
Hell yeah.
Where did all that stuff go? It's like my computer has completely deleted it.
Whenever you're looking for something, it disappears. Narhite has descended upon you.
Yes. Oh,
For Grace, Grace, for Davis, you can normally say whenever Grace Davis has something, it disappears.
I'm hoping Peter has those master files. Anyway.
Finn's got them. He's in them right now, I know.
Speaking of things that Davis has, Touch of Evil T Doctor, question for Davis. How's your rooster stat block going?
Dude, I swear that rooster, he pecked the shit out of me this morning.
Is that your hand?
Yes, one of the hens
Oh,
had gotten out of the cage, right? And I picked up the hen to put it back in the cage, and that rooster went freaking nuts and just jumped on me and started pecking on my hands as I stuck it back in the cage. And
touched
I was
his lady.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm just throwing rocks at it every time I see it.
He did it for love.
Yeah. First time that sucker bloodies my hand, I'm gonna eat it.
Wars were fought.
Yeah.
The Great Rooster Wars.
He's really mad right now too because I locked them all up in the chicken coop and I won't let him out.
Oh, buddy.
And out there,
There's a crazy court case in Florida. This is a tangent, so I won't spend too long on it. But there was a crazy court case in Florida, of course, of a guy killing another guy's rooster because the rooster like attacked him, and it came out like it was this like just animal abuse like thing. But then it turned out that like the rooster was just kind of let out and was terrorizing the neighborhood and the children and chasing cars and all this shit.
Yeah, and that rooster is pretty big too. They can get pretty aggressive, especially when they have a little flock, when they have their own little flock.
He attacked when I was up there last week, Davis. He attacked me twice.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he came. I don't even know what I was doing. I wasn't messing with his chickens, but he came at me and I kicked him so he went the other way.
He wants food. He'll jump on your back or he'll jump on your legs.
Oh, that's what he's doing because I had earlier that day I had dumped a whole bunch of food scraps out to him, so he was coming. He wanted more food. Awesome.
There is a video game called Fable. It's a series. It's one of my favorite video game series of all time, and the whole inside joke there is like kicking chickens. It's like a thing. That game. So you'd love it. MSN 2012 Gaming asked, in the back end, will there be a chance to add other books to the Kickstarter items, like a Printed Adventures backpack? And will there be OGL-free versions of the other books in the future?
Yes, everything going forward that's coming out, like Codex Infernum is already free of OGL. Codex Exaltum will be, whatever else we're working on. So and the Adventures backpack is up for I'm just beginning on the rewrite, but it will be OGL free. Everything that going forward, and Jeremy's done some amazing work on Adventures already, cleaning out, I don't know, a good 20 of them. Beneath the Canopy Green's already cleaned out, released from its shackles. But yes, everything will be free of OGL.
I don't think that you can add items from our normal store into your pledge for this Kickstarter, though. Like, I don't think you can bundle this with like a purchase from our store. I think those have to be made separately.
We didn't do that this time around. It causes a little bit of kerfluffle in the mailroom. It just slows things down a little bit. We may, I'll talk to Chuck. We may, if we go through backer kit, we may kind of add that at the packing level where it goes. But it's really best if you want the Adventures backpack, just order it.
Yeah.
We'll ship it to you within usually 24 hours, and you'll get it.
I love the Adventures backpack. I think that's the rewrite I'm most excited for.
I absolutely love that book, and I love those backpacks in that book. I absolutely love them.
Backpacks are super.
And talking about playing cards, we got cards for all of those backpacks.
That's
cool. The backpacks are really, really good. I like the character classes too. I actually want to play a few of them.
They're so fun. They're so fun. They're just like, they're completely, what I love about the Adventures backpack is that there's and I went on a big long rant about this in one of our previous streams, and I'll rant this to the day that I die. It's classes that are completely unique to Castles and Crusades.
Yes.
You can find the Cleric anywhere. You can't find the Rune Mark anywhere, or the Seeker anywhere, or the Forsworn.
The Forsworn is the one I really want to play. That's the one.
Do it.
It's the Primal Druid I absolutely love.
Yeah, Primal Druid's really good.
They're so cool.
I love when Mark Sandy actually wrote the original concept for that character, and when he pitched it for that class, he said, "Listen, the druid's not there to protect the woods. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to protect civilized people from nature, and that's what the primal druid does. That's just badass. That's just
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah. Because nature ain't nice.
It ain't. Just go talk to your rooster. He'll,
I know.
he'll-
I actually just created, I just published it on Facebook. I'm going to find the link here, but I created a tier list template that people can use to rank Castles and Crusades classes, and it includes all of the base classes and then all of the adventures backpack classes as well. Here
Oh,
it
that's
is,
cool.
if you want to try it. And let us know which
Rate
ones you guys prefer.
Rate your favorite class. That's very cool.
Yeah. Because who doesn't love a tier list?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves that.
Well, I know Kent's going to be fighter because he doesn't have to read anything.
It's very easy.
Oh, yes. The class and a half system is a really good system. Yes.
That's a Mark Sandy thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
George was asking, will we have to repurchase OGL free adventures? You don't have to do anything.
No, no.
Yeah, no, you won't need. No.
That'll be fine.
Most of Davis's stuff he makes up as he goes, so none of it's in any book anywhere. And most of my stuff is pretty like it's a +1 sword. We don't want to give them away. It's very easy stuff.
No, I can't foresee having to repurchase any adventure under any circumstance.
No.
Because all the stuff is still gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff. There might be like Magic Missile is now Magi's Missile. There might be a couple of small things that.
But which I think would be fairly easy to pick up on. But we don't use. I know for a while we would list the spells like NPCs had, but I even quit doing that because once you hit like an 8th level wizard, you're like half a page of spells, and I'm like, Just do it yourself.
It's too much work.
Oh, well, will we have to repurchase if we want the OGL free version?
Yes, you will definitely have to repurchase it. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Because we're doing a whole new print runs. Everything's and we're going to start using the new paper starting in about probably 2 weeks. We're going to go to this natural white paper and move away from the heavy gloss bright white.
So excited.
It looks so good. All of the Isaiah stuff, all of Davis's adventures have already been shifted to that. It's just beautiful paper. It's soft. It's easy on the eyes. It's just kind of a paper nut. So it's
Yeah, that reminds you have to get into DTRPG too.
MSN actually has a question that I was gonna pause it in just a second here. Same brain. Will there be like an OGL to non-OGL cheat sheet? For example, like a spell list of like, it was this name, now it's this name.
Yes, we've already got the Excel done. We've got to clean it up a little bit. It'll go up on the site for free download. It'll be all over the place.
Ajil, I'm so sorry, I missed your question. Let me try to go back up and find it, or if you'd post it again, that would be excellent.
Wait, new isn't language or monster traits going to rule? Yeah, I really like the new layout in language for monsters and treasures. Now, but this will bring up, and I don't know, Kent. We can have that discussion later about putting that stat block at the bottom.
Well, I like it though. I like it. That's been that monster stat block. I regret it a little bit because we added 4 categories to it: biome, climate, sanity from Amazing Adventures. Maybe 3. We added enough to it.
Yeah.
Oh, and we added the hit point. We did the average hit point. Before we would just have the creature's level hit dice, but now we've got its level hit dice and its average hit points.
Yeah.
This is all good information, but again, it's putting it in this kind of tabular format, and it's so busy. So we may readdress some stuff. I don't know. We just have to look at it. But yeah, maybe putting it at the bottom will solve some of that.
Yeah, I didn't thought about that until we had that discussion this morning about the player facing and character facing. That really, leveraging the emphasis on the player facing.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's been, and this is on me, right? This is my fault. The conversation in the last 15 years has gradually shifted away from what Castles and Crusades is And I can even tell it now that this conversation has come up. I can tell it in my when I'm explaining things to people about CNC. The first thing I always go to is the siege engine. Well, that's not the first thing that's unique about Castles and Crusades. Its immersive aspect is what's most unique about Castles and Crusades. And that immersive aspect plays into every single individual who's playing role-playing games, at least 99 out of 100, who have that same kind of imaginative drive and that desire to immerse themselves in the game of cops and robbers, like you can't do in video games, and you can't do in board games, and you can't do at TV, and you can't do with card games, any of this stuff. You can really only do it with role-playing games. And Castles and Crusades is the only game out there that I know of. I think there was one that was published back in the 80s and 90s that was driven for this, but that its primary philosophy is immersive. We want you to immerse yourself into the game, be here, and the mechanics are there to help you resolve what problems you cause in your imaginative play.
Yeah.
And I think that I have allowed that. I've allowed that in my own mind to shift gradually over the years, and we're going to remind people what CNC actually is.
Yeah, some of the
That's a
design.
good point.
Yeah, that and Grace mentioned earlier about changing rules and stuff like that. And that's another aspect of very specifically built into the game is the siege engine was designed to be futzed with, because everyone I know who has played a role-playing game has futzed with the rules. They keep futzing and futzing.
Yes.
No one's ever satisfied with the rules. Everyone's always futzing with the rules, trying to fix it, make it their game. Which is why, so the game is designed such that you can futz with it and not break it apart, or it with all those what are they called? The butterfly effect in mini games, where it just like edges. You can do that, and like for example, the CKG is just, other than the informative part at the first portion, is just suggestions on how you could possibly rearrange some rules to get a feeling that you want at the table.
So I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say. Tim, if he was out there and if he's listening, and he's just down the lane from me, he's going to kill me. But when we did Castles and Crusades, the player's handbook has literally everything that you actually need. Yes. If you have an idea of a monster, you can do it. You can, in the player's handbook, you can give it its own armor class. Everything you need is in that player's handbook. And it's the reason in this Kickstarter why you can get the player's handbook by itself, or if you want help with monsters, you can get the PHB and the monsters. Because the Castle Keeper's Guide, and it is a fantastic resource, but it is in no way, shape, or form necessary to play CNC. You just need the player's handbook. We recommend a monster book, so you got 400 idiot monsters you can throw at your players, but the CKG is not. It's just optional stuff that...
I will add in, however, in defense of the CKG's essentialness.
Yeah.
When we were doing the Storms Front, which is like our little mini series that's up on YouTube that we filmed specifically for like TLG's YouTube, it was our castle keeper Zach's first time castle keeping, and he had the CKG open the whole time and was referencing stuff every time we wanted to do anything. It is cool. Super helpful.
Yes, it is.
It is.
But he learned the game on the player's handbook.
Davis wrote the dungeon section. I remember when I was laying it out, I was reading about these types of caves. I didn't even know I didn't know there was these types of caves. Well, this is pretty cool. There's different types of caves. I don't know. And because it's just filled with all of this kind of odd and end information, wastage rules, land is treasure. I wrote that part, and that's my favorite part, because you get to award titles of nobility and stuff like that. Yeah. Just gives you a framework. So it's good, but if you just want to get some CNC, and like David said the other day, and again, I shouldn't be saying this, Tim's going to kill me, you can actually go to the website and download it for free.
Not this version, but you can get it.
Yeah, not this version, but you can definitely get it.
Well, speaking of using these books, Agile Monk, I finally found their question. I've been in and out of the industry for years. I'm a professional world builder. I would love to bring a new world to CNC and do a third-party offering for CNC. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got third-party now. Some of the links are broken. They were pointed out to me the other day when we switched everything to get protected from the bot attack that we were continually experiencing.
Yeah,
Some of the
new
links got
website.
broke, but yeah, we've got a third-party publishing page. But yeah, absolutely, we love to see stuff. Always looking for something interesting.
Yeah, if you go to our
That's
home
nice.
page where it says home on the left-hand side, down second from the bottom on that drop down is third-party publishing. All those links are still good. So
Yeah. Oh,
Just
good.
the
That's good.
guidelines.
yeah, writer's
Nice,
guidelines.
nice.
The,
I think a logo was broken, or I can't remember now.
I can't remember.
Someone alerted me to it.
but they all seem to be up there. But
Good.
Yeah. The hell yeah.
We
Yeah,
appreciate it, Trash Monk Kill, and Amazing Adventures. I am in it right now. We're doing the final layout. Should be done in 2 or 3 days, 4 days tops. We'll have that. We'll have that wrapped. It's gonna be sweet.
Just a
Right.
reminder, if you haven't already, if you're watching on Twitch, do !! raffle, and you get money for our store. We give
Wait.
you money.
yeah. I still think we should take payment in Bitcoin.
For some reason, I cannot find where I log in to look at my PDFs. Can y'all help? Yeah, let me find that for you real quick. Just drop the link. Here you go.
Good deal, Agile.
We should do a
We'll get
raffle.
that updated. It needs some updated. I think Chuck told me it's got some OGL content in it. We'll clean all that out and get everything fixed.
Oh, the license and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what he mentioned it to me.
Oh,
So I
okay, okay. Yeah, no, but I think we're we're good with that. Who is it that has produced so much stuff on DTRPG? Mithrander.
Moose says, Stephen, have you convinced Davis to start working on a river environment book?
We don't need any more river anything.
Engineering rivers.
Dude, you should do one of those adventures that's like in one of those riverine systems, like the mouth of a river, or not the mouth of the what is it? The headwater, not the headwaters, the mouth, where it like empties out into the ocean. What's that called?
What is that? I don't know, but there's Earthsea. Wasn't Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin? Wasn't that a
Yeah, I
all
think.
water or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of water in it. Yeah.
Man, I loved Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
Delta. Thank you. The Delta region. Yeah. The and then you just have river after river, swamp, river, swamp, river,
It would
river.
be awesome. Drowned characters everywhere.
Yeah, like an ocean of drowned characters.
That needs to be an entry in the Crusader, how to drown your party.
There you go.
That would be an excellent entry, I think.
Yeah, the Earthsea series. That's it. Yeah, the Earthsea series. Yeah.
Man, oh man. Some good.
License for tier 2 that's OGL free.
Yeah, give it about a week or so, Agile, and I'll get that up. I'll put that on my part. It won't take very long to fix it and get that back up.
That'd be pretty good. Which is your favorite Siege engine flavor? 15 base with plus or minus 3, 18 base with plus 6 from primaries, or the default 12 primary, 18 secondary?
Mine
I
is
used-
18 base with plus 6.
Yeah, I used 12 and 18 forever, and then someone pitched that 18 plus 6. So I started using that until Mac at the table started making fun of me. So I went back to 12, 18.
What's 18 plus 6?
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's the same thing. So everything's 18, but if it's a prime, they just add plus 6 to their roll.
But then
Yeah.
that's the same as 12, 18.
Yeah, it is.
But it's faster math on their end. And the CK only has to have one target.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it just reduces the
Or
amount of
something.
math.
It's-
So
yeah.
Mac was making fun of Camp for not being able to do
Yeah.
simple math. Oh, all right.
So I switched back.
Yeah,
There
you
is
have to
no
add
simple
one more
math
number.
when you're facing off against a fucking dragon or
That's true.
army of goblins.
Right.
It's very true.
Quick, what's 18 plus 14? I don't know. I guess I'll just die.
18 plus 14 is me dead.
Yeah, right.
It's 6 feet
Yeah.
under.
Ooh.
Man, oh man.
Wait till I get my 3D10 system up.
Your D30, you tried so hard to get D30 built into the game.
I love the 30-sided dice so much. I want it in there.
And speaking of playing, we're gonna run probably a battle royale pretty soon-ish.
Nice.
What level do you guys want to play?
We have to have a little bit of hit points, so I'd say around 3rd level, something like
cool. I was thinking like between 3 and 5.
Okay, I'll play a 9th level.
Sounds good. That's totally cool.
Don't worry, Grace. He will hamstring himself so much that
Yeah.
it won't matter.
I have some plans of my own, actually. I'm very excited.
Excellent.
24.
There's like there's for years I was playing at Kent's table and or Braylick, remember? And I wasn't rolling dice and you didn't know it. No one knew it. I was just making up numbers. So what I would do, and the only way, and you caught me one night because
After like 2 years of gaming, I caught you.
yeah, because I wasn't rolling dice and I was letting myself get hit and beat up and almost killed. And you said something like, "Man, your dice rolls are horrible."
Yeah, you weren't hitting anything for week after week after week. I said, "What is going on with your dice? Why can't you roll high?" And
Yeah.
that's when you were like, "Well," making up
So
numbers.
and
At
all I
least
do,
it's not like. You
no,
know,
I was just like
He wasn't
randomly
cheating.
open the page, and the first 2 numbers would be like that would be the thing. And then if I wanted like a combat to go bad, I'd be like, I miss, I roll.
It was so funny.
Again, player-focused game.
Yes,
There you go.
Absolutely.
But I think after
I
that,
remember saying that. Why don't you, if you're going to just make up the numbers, occasionally make up a 20?
yeah, no.
At least one.
Yeah.
At least
Are there any classes that y'all haven't played yet that you're wanting to? I know you mentioned Forsworn, Davis.
Yeah, there's a few from the ABP. I think I'd like to play the Forsworn, the Ethereal Knight. What's the
Ethereal Knight is excellent. So
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really cool class. And the other one that I think I would have a hard time playing, but might be fun is the Arcane Thief.
Arcane Thief caught all of our eyes immediately before we ever played Castles and
Yeah.
Crusades.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool concept. I'm not sure how it would play out, but I'd have fun doing it.
You really have to have. One of the things I'm going to change in that class because you have to have a CK who's using spell-heavy NPCs,
Yeah.
so they can steal the stuff. I think I'm going to change it so that you can steal magic abilities that monsters have as well.
That would be cool.
And, yeah, that beefs it up so that because the class, I love that class, but it's pointless at my table because I don't ever have spellcasters as NPCs attacking the party.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Arcane Thief can do nothing except steal his buddy's spells, which might go south.
Yeah. He'd like standing next to Mac when he's playing a wizard, just like figment.
Yeah.
Suddenly he can't cast anything. It's like
Is
Mac
it
would take
magic?
that well,
Sure.
but Todd would kill you.
Yeah.
Todd would go insane and kill you.
yeah, you would get mad. Remember when you got like you robbed his character one time? Like
No,
his boots?
Todd, I think the funniest not funny moment in role playing history. It's going to be like in 1986 or something. So there's 2 things. So Todd Gray, who is a fantastic player, longtime friend of mine, part of the company, the whole thing.
Yeah.
He loves to equip characters. He will have nothing to do with those adventures backpacks, though he designed part of them, and he actually went over and made sure they made sense because he loves to buy equipment. He just loves it. So there's 2 pieces of equipment. Do not ask me why. That he kind of holds sacrosanct above all things, and it's rope and boots.
Yeah.
and they were doing an adventure through the Rakers in the world of Greyhawk, and there was this chasm, and Todd got knocked negative. And in my game, when you go negative, you're out for 7 days. So they needed to get across the chasm because whatever, I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was a frost giant had knocked Todd negative. They needed to get across the chasm. Well, they had 2 sets of 50-foot rope. They used one to get across the max to get across the rope, but there was no safe way to get Todd across. So they cut Todd's rope up and made a sling out of it. He was apoplectic with rage. When it was over, he didn't kill his character. He did eventually, but what he did, Max, about, I don't know, an hour later, Mac was negative, and they were in a dungeon at this point. And Mac's character's there's a stairway that goes down into the chasm, and Mac's character's laying down there, and he goes, Mac turned to Todd and said, "Dude, you're going to have to bandage me or whatever." And Todd said, "No." I turned to Mac's character, and I kicked him off the steps. So he plummeted 1,000 feet into the darkness and died, of course. And then Todd said, "I just jumped after him." It was so funny.
Oh my god.
Over some rope.
I love playing with Todd. He's funny as crap.
Varsuk says, hopefully this will be put up for later viewing. I'm missing most of the stories. Sounds interesting. Went to listen later. He's working and
Yeah.
is in a meeting.
Yeah.
This will be viewable on the Kickstarter page. Yeah. You can
Oh,
view
yeah.
this later.
Right after we finish jabbering.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, it's been an hour. Do we have any closing points or anything to leave folks with? Any cursed comments, tips, tricks, suggestions?
If anyone can think,
Chuck needs to hop in, I guess, and for the giveaway.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hey Chuck, come on in if you want to do the giveaway real quick. I would do it, but I don't know how.
Chuck's got this down to a science.
My favorite thing with things involving rope in game was playing my seeker, and our roles were just beans all session. There were these like goblins and trees that were firing at us, and they were just whittling us down. We couldn't hit them for shit, and so I started like lassoing them out of trees.
Oh, nice. That's good though.
That was a lot of fun.
That would probably be a Todd approved use of his rope. Maybe you didn't catch it on fire. So
I didn't catch it on fire. We were all good.
oh yeah, no, we should have a futzing guide. Yeah, that's a guide.
The futzing guide. That's actually great.
Yeah.
I love that.
that's one of the reasons I want to get Davis, either you or Chuck or myself, run a game online. Because watching Davis, you got a look into his characters the other day when he developed Waddle the gnome with tiny feet. He does that with all of his characters. Braylick, that cleric, first thing he did, he showed up. He and Mac joined the party simultaneously, and Davis described his characters with his lips shut. And he played that way till 3rd level. He couldn't cast any verbal spells, and for a cleric, that's like all of them. That's all of the spells. It was really funny.
Remember he was naked too, because he was an avatar, so he just showed up out of the woods completely.
It was awesome.
That sounds like.
What did that piss? Who did it piss off so much? It was Mark.
It kind of made everyone angry at the table because there was no one to heal anyone but you.
Yeah, and I kept saying it's the will of the gods.
Yes. Well, you didn't until 3rd level because you couldn't speak. You only ate soup. I mean, it was really funny. That's actually, as a side note, that's one of the reasons that we allowed the illusionist to heal. Because Mark was playing an illusionist, so we gave the illusionist healing.
I created a whole new way of healing.
Incredible. It's become enough of a problem.
Yeah. Chuck has joined us.
Welcome in,
Yeah,
Chuck.
can you hear me okay?
We can.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Nick and I together played a gnome on Baldur's Gate 3 called Man Bread Bread Man, and he was naked the whole game, and then he died. That's it. That's the whole story. Sorry, Chuck.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think there was something we were playing that Steve wrote or Davis won, and the creature or the person was made of cork. I don't know what the hell that was. and they set him on fire. It's been a couple of weeks in the A series. I don't know. I can't remember. So
it's a funny name though. That what was it called, Grace? Man what?
Man Bread Bread Man.
Man bread man.
Well, my son Henry made his first character or account on Fortnite when he was really, really young. His account name was Man Butter.
Yeah, let's go.
Man butter.
Which for a while I was like, later I was like, okay, we can stop with the Man Butter thing, make a new account. But now he's old enough and we think it's funny enough. It's like, no, Man Butter would be a great name.
Man Butter needs to live on.
Davis, you're gonna have to tell Wyatt that one of my favorite characters was a character named Butterhead. And every time I went into battle, I'd take a stick of butter and put it in my hair and stand my hair up before I charged into battle.
Did you really? Is this true shit?
This is true shit. It was at Todd's game.
I love him. I would die for him. I would fight for him.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, let's get some giveaways done. Get out of here because we've got work to do.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to close the entries out. And also, thank you guys for coming out and hanging out and allowing me a little time of peace. But,
Are you
All
reading
right,
the
let's go.
comments? Corky Golem when you're on a budget.
When you're on a budget. I mean, you know. All right. So let's see. We're giving away some $10 PDFs today. We're giving away 5. We'll pick 5 people. Here we go. If you are new to us, there'll be a link that pops up. Just join our Discord and message Obsidian Risk, or someone will point you to him and he'll find you and he'll get you the code to our store and any other help you might need. All right. Here we go. First up is Narg. $10
Let's
for Narg.
go.
Go Narg.
Cheers.
Second is Death's Angel Shadow. All right. All right.
Woohoo.
Third is
Troza.
Asher the Bear. Dale, there you go. Then last but not least, oh wait, we've got 2 more. I can't count. Davros Dave.
Davros
Congrats.
Dave.
And now our last but not least winner is Touch of Evil. There you go.
Nice.
Woohoo.
These sound like new
Congrats.
names, Chuck. It sounds like a whole bunch of new people won this stuff.
They're not new. All those
Yeah.
people are regular.
Yeah.
Well, one of them, Davros, is new, I think.
Yeah,
The other
yeah,
ones,
Davros. I've seen
You know-
Davros around.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
There's
we
just so
should
many
do?
streams. you
I
can
meant
keep
new
track.
winners. I meant new winners, not new people.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
definitely new winners. No
Okay,
Bean,
yeah. No,
no
yeah.
Chris. No, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
What we
Sure.
should do, like on one of these streams, we should like limit like people who have been around for a long time and who has like saved up like $9,000 in our account.
Yeah, there's someone
haven't
out
bought
there.
anything.
There's several like that actually.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
We should just for one stream say newcomers only, just for newcomers only. Like you can win the raffle.
Everyone else, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You can't fucking join.
Yeah.
Friendly,
Please.
the friendly trolls, right?
Get fucked
That's right.
Rah.
All right. The only thing I can suggest, Grace, I'm gonna duck out of here. I guess. Well, you guys are quitting, but we will say
Sure.
Fantasy Grounds is actually on if you want to raid into them. They're hardly ever on, so that'd be kind of neat.
Whomstative?
And Chuck, this stream will be up on the Kickstarter in the next few minutes.
Yeah, as soon as we shut off, I have to go in and publish it on
Okay.
Twitch because they've made it easier. And then
Yeah.
and then I'll add the link in on
Yeah.
the Kickstarter. Me and
What did
Steve spent an hour this morning railing about these big
Yeah.
businesses. Now they
What did you?
do
What
all
did you
these
say?
changes to help us out, with
Yeah.
parody.
No, a parody. Yes, it's all become a parody. I don't know.
It's
what's going
crazy.
on.
It's like, let us help you do more for less. But anyway,
Yes, it's something.
yeah, so it's craziness. Anyways. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I got to say actually. Good to see everybody.
Thanks for popping
It was
in. And
enjoying-
thanks for helping with the
It was an
raffle.
enjoying conversation. I was doing listening to all of it. It's a lot of good questions.
I
Yeah.
took
That's why we're
enough-
doing these streams. We need to hear you guys' feedback. This is great.
Exactly. And I think it's
took
important
some
for
part.
us too to talk about because we talk about how to play CNC, but I think that this is the first conversation that I've been a part of at least where we talk about what CNC is for, what it's meant
Yeah.
to do.
I've never had those conversations till now. And when we started bringing them up, talking about them, me and him were, and I was like, this is some shit we need to really get out here in front of people.
Yeah.
And this
Never
is
thought about. I mean, you talk about being good for role playing, but I never knew that the actual original intent that Mac and Davis had was to go that direction. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. And that's why this
You know?
Kickstarter is so important because
Yes.
it's not only an opportunity for us to get rid of the OGL and add art and make it look nicer, but it's to actually return CNC to what it was always meant to be
Right.
and
That's-
refine that, which I think
Yeah.
is priceless. It's awesome.
And
Totally.
whose sub goal was to have a game that I don't have to read a lot.
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna raid
On
into it was Fantasy Grounds that you said, right, Chuck?
That sounds great. Yeah, I'd be good since they sell our product over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people over there.
And they're hanging out with
Yeah.
Ed Greenwood. So let's go say
Oh, is
hi.
that on?
Yeah. We're gonna
Excellent,
go.
Excellent.
We're gonna hang out with Ed Greenwood.
Go
Anything
ahead.
last minute to say while the raid is counting down?
Death Angel says, "Wait, did I break my losing streak? Did he win one of the?"
I think he did.
Oh, there you
Look.
go.
Hey.
I took
You
a
did break your
note.
no more can you brag, sir.
I took a
win.
note.
I've
Now
always
go-
Thanks,
wanted,
everybody.
I've always
been
wanted
looking for-
jujitsu on tabletop and rules for the bone said monk would break. Hey, do Codex Sinarum if you want jujitsu.
Oh, yeah.
It's got martial arts in it. Yeah.
There you go.
Fable rocks. Fable does rock. I'm so excited for the new one. Okay, we're gonna go.
No, wait. One more thing. I took a
Okay.
note. The Futson Guide to CNC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our Midwest goodbye. Just like when you go to the door and
Yeah.
you stand and talk.
Right.
about time to leave.
Here's the thing. We on our stream, we have a joke for as long as the raid is counting down. We're like, oh, actually, I have one more thing to say. It's super important. It's really
One
important
more
that
thing.
everyone sticks around to say this, because basically I've been thinking about it for a pretty long time. And it just
And then it goes out.
Yeah.
That's what happened yesterday on me and Davis's stream when we were talking. It just rated. It was like, oh, okay, we're gone. Like
and
it's gonna happen
also
now.
one
Bye,
more
everybody.
thing, super